it's very epic if you get a Natasha Denona like Valentine's Day collection. Today we are doing a look back at infamous Natasha Denona like Valentine's Day releases. This is going to be such a fun video. Like, I'm so excited for this. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. As you saw, we are actually going to be diving into my Natasha Denona Vault of Valentine's Day collection like products, and we're going to be creating some eyeshadow and face looks with these products today. I'm going to do two separate looks for you guys. So if you guys like unfiltered makeup opinions and honest reviews, definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, because it pushes this video right through the algorithm. Leave me any comments that you have, and let's get into this video. I was inspired by the Natasha Denona Valentine's Day collection that was released in 2024. I feel like in the YouTube space, we really anticipate this collection. Like, every year we're waiting to see what Natasha Denona does with her collection for Valentine's Day and adding to her just overall collection in general. But Valentine's Day seems to be like a really big thing for her brand. And in the past, she's done so many different Valentine's Day releases. She's had like the mini love palette. She's had the mini crush palette. She had that one in 2022. She did have the mini crush palette. At some point, she released the Cupid duo that was all a part of her Valentine's collection. Last year, she had the Love Face palette, and like once upon a time, what started it all was the Love palette, which is the 15 pan eyeshadow palette from Natasha Denona. And this year, she released just like cheek products and some lip products, and she left out the eyes, which I was not like offended by that at all. I was like, I definitely get it, because you have so many like eye products that you've come out with. Like I said, like these are three. There's actually technically four that she's come out with. And I was like, you know what? I want to dig into my vault of Natasha Denona Valentine's Day releases. Doing my, like, let's just play with these because they're gorgeous, gorgeous products. And if you have them, pull them out and play with them and fall in love with them again, because they are just so beautiful. And you don't need that new release if you have some of her Valentine's Day collections already. So let's get into the first eyeshadow look. Now let's play with this. This was a release in 2023. This was like the Natasha Denona Valentine's release of 2023. I did a whole review on this palette, and there were a lot of people who were able to get access to this palette. I don't know if you can still buy it on Natasha's website, but we're going to take the cream blush. This is almost like a lavender look, and we're just going to slowly build this up onto my skin. If I remember correctly, the last time I used this, I just noted that it was a little bit like lavender. It's like that lavender shade that was like trending last year, but this is like done awkwardly, if that makes sense. Like, I love Natasha Denona cream blushes, but you have to have the right skin tone to be able to pull this off. And if I remember correctly, this specific blush, a lot of people had tried like in this palette, and they did not like it because it was very ashy looking. Like, it looks like my face is a little bit dirty. I'm going to pull out this from Natasha Denona as well. It's the Cupid Cheek Duo. And this came with this is like another one of her duos, but this actually has like more of a red blush. And I'm also going to like layer it on top of that weird, pink blush. And maybe we'll come up with something that's a little bit more, not so like ashy looking. Like, I was like, oh, I remember this blush was just weird. It's like in a that lavender color, and it almost looks like, I don't even know how to explain, like on my face, it almost seems like it has a blue, almost like too blue of an undertone, and it doesn't look right on my face. Like, leave me a comment down below. Do you think this looks okay? Because like, I do not like this. Okay, so this palette also came with a highlight, and it is the Dream Glow highlight. Like, it's actually really pretty. So I'm just going to use my finger and tap, tap, tap this on. We might have to go in with the Beauty Blender. So like tap, 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 tap. Is this showing up on my skin? Like this just looks, like my blush just looks so dirty. Like it's hard to explain. I forgot how like dirty it looks. Like, so we're also going to take some of this highlight from the Cupid palette. Okay. And so we're going to use the eyeshadows in here. I'm going to use my Singe Beauty brushes. These are my favorite brushes. I'm going to start with the EO2 from Singe. We're going to use Juliet, which is that like ballet pink shade. And this I'm going to just place and pack all over the lid. Like it is such a beautiful shade. It's a light ballet pink. I'm not going to clean off my brush. We're going to use Giddy, which is this shade right here. And we're just going to lightly tap this and like sweep motions in the crease. Just to like give it a little bit of definition. That's actually really pretty because it's just like the slightest bit of definition. The shade right here called Affinity. This is such a beautiful rose gold shade. I'm just going to pop this like all over the lid. It's wet, it's pretty, it's like natural, and pinks can go so easily like neutral or colorful if you really want them to. Now I'm going to take the angled brush. This is the EO6 from Sigma Beauty. It's actually a winged liner brush, and I dip into Ico, which is this purple shade. And this is just going to be pretty. This is going to be really pretty along the lash line as like a liner. And it's purple. And it literally just like glides on. And and I like the sultry looks, but if you wanted something that kept your eye a little bit more open, you could definitely just leave this step out. I have the FL1 from Singe Beauty, and we're going to take this shade and maybe, actually, we're going to do Esme, which is this like pink shade in the corner here. And we're going to put this on the lower lash line, like just like. So for lips, we are going to use a Review Beauty. I got this when I went to Creators and Friends. It's one of my favorite lips. It is the Dahlia shade, and that is my favorite lip. And we're just using a this is a Stay 8-Hour lip liner, and it also comes with a sharpener, but this is from Essence Cosmetics. The shade is called Unforgettable. This is a really beautiful shade, and it's really similar to the Pillow Talk shade from Charlotte Tilbury. So if you guys are looking for like a Pillow Talk dupe, this is a really good one. And they also have some other ones that are really good as well. It is so good. And then I just wanted like a simple lip. I don't want anything too bright or too red for this. Like I'm just like in the romantic mood. Although red would be really pretty. It's not for this look. But we have Dahlia from Review Beauty. It's so pretty, and it's so like moisturizing. It's such a beautiful formula, and I think Ally Glines did such like a standout job with it. I feel like Valentine's themed palettes, they just don't get played with as much as what they should. And like this is definitely one of those palettes that I love because it has like eyeshadows and it has a blush and it has a face product in it, like a highlight in it. But I wanted to bring this back out again. I wanted to play with it, see if it was worth all the hype from like, you know, a year ago when I did do my review. And I wanted to just have a really beautiful like Valentine's makeup look. I have two sponges. I have a foundation sponge, and then I have a cream products sponge. But this is the Cupid Cheek Duo. So it comes with like this really beautiful, like luminescent almost looking blush. You guys can see here. It's almost like a red blush. Ooh, that's pretty. Like, that is super pretty. And then it also comes with a cream highlight, which the cream highlight is a little bit more golden, but it's so pretty. And I did have to like tame the blush yesterday because it almost looked like dirty to me, but I wanted to use this one today because you didn't really get to see like the impact that it had on my face. And it looks so pretty, so dewy, like without having to worry about like it looking ashy. Even on my skin, that blush from yesterday was so ashy. Like, I can't believe how ashy it looked on my skin, and I'm like pasty pale. Okay, so bronzer is on. It honestly went a lot better with this brush. This is the Sigma Multitasker, the F47, and I like it because it's actually like a little bit angled. But I have actually been applying a lot of my bronzer like that lately, the cream bronzer with this brush, and it's just like beautiful. And it went on way better than what it did yesterday. The sponge like picked up way too much, and the brush just kind of like airbrush flawless. Chef's kiss. It looks beautiful. But now we're going to use the highlight side. It's technically a cream highlight, but I have this really nice brush, and we're just going to slowly build it up and dust it on. This highlight is actually really similar to the one in that Love Face palette. Like, really similar. I feel like the texture is the same. I feel like the color is the same. So like, actually, I think this one's powder. The other one's like a cream. So this one is a powder. Do I like the cream one better? So I like the blush in the Cupid. That's gorgeous. But I think I like the cream one better in this. In this one. Although the shade is just so similar. So I don't know. Like if she had put this blush or something similar, or maybe a little bit more poppy pink in this palette, like if she had used this shade and made a cream blush shade for this instead of that cool tone pink shade, I think that this could have been a winner. Now I want to use the Natasha Denona Love palette, just the Love palette. And there are some really similar shades in this palette to that Love face palette, but I wanted to do a full face palette today. I wanted to do a full look. Like I wanted to do this. So we're going to use Valentine, which is the shade right here. And we're going to dust this all on the lid. Actually, we're going to use Intense too. So we're going to like mix these two. And we're just going to create this really deep pink eyeshadow look. So we're going to take my Singe Beauty EO4. I love this brush for the lower lash line, but we're not going to use it for that. I'm actually going to dip into Dream. I think this is that cream to powder, super purpley. And we're going to stamp this right here. Ooh, that's cool. We're just stamping it on. And then we're just going to make sure that it's like blended right here where it meets the crease. And then we're just using the excess that's on the brush and like blending it into the lower lash line too. I'm actually going to use my beauty blender and like clean this up just a little bit. That's like a technique that I like to use is like if you have your foundation beauty blender, you can actually clean it up just a little bit with like the edge. And it doesn't remove your foundation, but it definitely helps the edge. I'm going to take that E40, just blend a little bit. I like that it's purpley. I do. I'm going to take Pure Love. This is that duochrome I was telling you about. It's like a pink to a purple. We're going to pop this right in the middle. And we're going to use this shade right here. I have an EO1 from Singe, and it's called Giving. And this is also kind of a duochrome too, but it shifts from like a pink to an orange. And we're gonna pat this on the inner corner and blend it into that purple shade. And then we're gonna use First, which is that really like skin tony shade. I'm just gonna put it right on the brow with the E40. This is such a good like diffusing type of brush. Like I like it because it really just is so great at like diffusing color. And then we'll also put it on the under eye as well. And take the EO1 again from Singe, and we're going to use transparent. Just dip this in like really, really lightly, and then place this maybe on the inner corner. Yeah, there it goes. I want a better inner corner because I feel like this just ain't working for me, or even just like a little pop of something on the lid. So I'm going to take the Love palette, the Love Face palette. I want to use this shade again. It's called Affinity. We're just going to use my finger. I love this shade. And we're just going to pop this right here. Here we have my second Valentine's Day eyeshadow look. This time with the Natasha Denona Love palette, just the Love palette. And then also with the Cupid Cheek Duo. And okay, guys, like I'm confessing that I did use Affinity from the Love Face palette, just, you know, in the middle of my lids, but it's still a really beautiful like color. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm actually going to I have 3 different mascaras on. What is wrong with me? Thank you guys so much for coming along with me on this adventure of digging into my stash and pulling out some of the old Natasha Denona Valentine's Day eyeshadow palettes and like face palettes. Like I said, Natasha is known for her like Valentine's-y collections, and like this year in 2024 she just released some lips and some face products, and she didn't release some eye products, but I was like, we need to dig into the vault of Natasha Denona Valentine's Day releases, and we just need to create some really beautiful eyeshadow looks and really come back to what we already have in our collection. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying tuned to the end of this video. I hope you consider subscribing before you go, and I hope I get to see you again. Bye!